In the last game that we ended up seeing, OG completely and totally stomp Spirit. It did not look that competitive for that long. There was one moment where it looked like it maybe could have turned back around, but it just didn't end up working out. I'm Lyrical Dota, joined today by Danny Lee Cass as well as Corrupt Drop Bear on the stats. Danny, they've stuck with the same draft this time around. Do you think that OG have this one in the bag pretty much?
If they play on a similar caliber to last game, then obviously they're going to have it in the bag. Team Spirit, they do have potential as a team, but they are definitely going to have to get their act together. If they can actually win the lanes off of OG, then that's the head start that they're going to need to sort of hold the momentum for the game till the very end. It's just, unfortunately, they haven't been able to do that. They're going to go back for the Treant Protector and the OD, so they're feeling comfortable with these heroes. I wouldn't blame them. They played very well with them. What are the final 3 heroes going to be to sort of finalize a draft, though? I like that they're going back for these heroes.
Yeah, I think that it still poses the same problems as last time, where I wonder if they... This is the thing. If Goldblack goes for the Aghanim Scepter up on Treant Protector again, I think he still ends up running into a problem where he doesn't come online quickly enough, and maybe something like a Blink Dagger first would end up working more to his favor. It really needs to come down to sort of the flow and momentum of the game, though, because if you get into a similar situation like last time, you're not going to be able to find that perfectly initiated overgrowth. Maybe the Sven is something they need to change. Choose a hero that can fight more early on. A lot of those heroes got banned out in the last stage. But those are the things to start to think about, and it also comes down to reading what OG's draft is going to be. And Earth Spirit, Vengeful Spirit, I mean, we didn't see Earth Spirit last time around, an incredibly powerful hero.
Probably one of the more cancerous heroes, can we safely say that? I've heard a lot of people just saying they hate Earth Spirit, period. So
yeah,
one of the more annoying heroes. I haven't seen him in this tournament at all, neither have you, so I would like to see how OG runs this Earth Spirit. I haven't watched many games, so maybe there have been some Earth Spirits that I haven't seen.
Yeah,
Did you see any?
We've been stuck over on the stream. No, I just got to catch the end of the OG EG game because obviously we were waiting for OG for this game to start, but it feels to me like the real strength of this hero is in his early game ganking potential. He's not as much of just that sort of complete and total save somebody right off the bat, and that can be really hard to manage. And roaming support early, while he is probably one of the best at it currently, it still causes problems, because if you don't find success in those ganks, particularly when you're going up against a Treant Protector who has that living armor to keep you alive, you kind of fall off. And then what are you meant to do afterwards? He's great in team fights also, but I'm concerned. That's what I'll leave it at. I'm very concerned.
Okay. Team Spirit, they're going to pick up a Juggernaut as their final safe lane core. They're still going to need an off lane here, but I like this Jug pickup. He's a very balanced hero. He's going to provide them a healing ward, so when it comes to sieging, they're going to have the healing ward for heals. Juggernaut, you could say a naturally early game oriented hero, and he does scale into the late game as well. So he's a little bit of everything, and this is something that Team Spirit has needed for quite a few series. So they have it up early though, so they're probably hoping that, probably worried that OG might ban it, or maybe OG was going to pick it up themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hope this Juggernaut's going to be enough for them to take this game off of OG. They're going up against a Death Prophet though, and one of the best ways to deal with the Death Prophet is either have a load of armor or a load of burst damage, and you're not really going to be able to 100% rely on the Juggernaut Omni Slash here.
Yeah, all right, there's a couple of things here. Fly is such a good drafter. I think that they realized what it was that Team Spirit was lacking, which is what we were just talking about. They needed somebody that came online early, and as you said, Juggernaut, the epitome of this. And I say this almost every time I cast a Juggernaut game. You pick this hero for untargetability and for sort of sustainability in lane and push with that healing ward, and also obviously just a strong laning hero. Because of that, they pick up the Vengeful Spirit. One of the ways that we've seen Juggernaut get played more recently is as a bit of a split-pushing menace in the late stages of the game, because you can spin TP and you're almost always going to be able to get out of there. Vengeful Spirit already gives you a way to be able to break it, and one of the key areas that Juggernaut struggles in is mass physical damage. And right now you've got a DP who has Soul Siphon that's going to be able to pierce BKB and also Exorcism. So Juggernaut, when you want to get on top of her, it's still not going to be able to work out because you're going to be able to steal away a lot of that HP while simultaneously doing damage. I think Oracle is a really good pick here, and this is probably going to be one of the great answers. But Spirit Siphon is just really freaking good against Jug.
Yeah, it is really good, but you also have to remember that Death Prophet's a hero where if Team Spirit does manage to overwhelm OG and Death Prophet's Exorcism has been expended, OG is in a very weak position when it comes to defensive capabilities because Death Prophet can't really do that much. She can Spirit Siphon, she can Crypt Swarm, but without the Exorcism, she's half the hero that she should be. So yeah, Death Prophet's going to be a major hero and so will Vengeful Spirit, but it's up to Team Spirit on how they sort of deal with the game and find those openings and sort of roll it all over OG, where OG, looking for their fourth hero, they've technically got their mid laner, they've got a support, they practically got both supports, right?
Yeah,
Earth Spirit and Venge, unless it's a core Venge. Which, I hate it so much.
I think it's okay. I kind of like the core Venge. I think it's a little bit... just because we've seen this hero so often, I mean, all the way dating back to 6.82 in that support role, and I think that it's probably not as good as it was last patch, but it still is really strong, and I mean, teams still run it. The Tusk is going to be taken, another way to be able to break that Juggernaut spin TP, and considering how we've seen Team Spirit sort of really rely upon Ramsey to get that farm and be that main damage dealer, I'm a little bit concerned about this. The OD Death Prophet matchup also, I mean, OD is an incredibly strong laning hero, but how do you beat a DP in the mid lane? It's just so freaking hard. Maybe they end up bringing in the Oracle to try and help out there.
OG will do reasonably well, but it's also going to be a mid matchup on who's going to be able to overpower the other. Like, remember, Death Prophet's still an intelligence-based hero. All of her physical damage is going to be based on her intelligence gain, and obviously if you can get rid of that, not only are you going to be getting rid of her base damage, but you also get rid of her mana pool. So Death Prophet, who typically spams Crypt Swarm for farming, can't do so as much as she would like to. So OD, he can contest the Death Prophet, it's just who gets on top of the other person first. Whether it's going to be the Death Prophet or OD, we'll have to see how Iceberg as well as Miracle play this out.
Reserve time.
It's really going to... I mean, the other thing is just they've played Tusk so well on this team. OG are just really, really freaking proficient at it. And I didn't realize that they had an Earth Spirit player. I mean, this is... We'll have to check through the OG Dat Dota stuff in a little bit, but considering they had no games played going into this, it's just, I don't know, it's pretty freaking strong. Slaughter are also going to be taken. That little bit of extra minus armor always good.
Yeah, especially with the Jug. Juggernaut and Slaughter is life. Those two together just do so well. But that's going to be another initiator here for Team Spirit, so it's not just going to be Go Black on the Treant Protector, but now it's also going to be the Slaughter with the Crush. So they've got two forms of initiation or teamfight control, whereas for OG, finishing up with a Terrorblade pickup. Apparently there are a couple of Terrorblades in this tournament. I didn't get to see how they went, but Terrorblade for OG, your thoughts, please?
That's my...
Okay.
What are you looking for here? You're looking for a bit more right-click damage. The thing I like about it is that it still does rely upon a cooldown, which isn't the best in the world. Like, you're still going to be dealing in the majority of your damage when Metamorphosis is up. But what Team Spirit's strength is right here is that you've got Juggernaut, who's pretty much always on. Omni Slash obviously is like that extra steroid to his damage, but he still does a ton if you end up getting those first couple of items up, like Yasha into Scotty or whatever way you want to run it. Like, they're much less reliant upon their ultis for their damage. And that's kind of the same for Terrorblade. Like, Metamorphosis, it's a 140-second cooldown, but even still, he does a decent chunk of damage even without Metamorphosis, and I don't know, I think it's okay.
I think it's reasonable. Now,
also,
for OG,
the illusions.
Yes, the illusions are amazing. But for OG, they swapped it around a little bit. No Taylor's going to be playing the Death Prophet mid this game, and Miracle's going to be handling the Terrorblade.
Huh.
So they changed up the lanes a little bit.
This, I kind of like this. Miracle, I think that really they need this Terrorblade to get really freaking big. And
Seconds to battle.
oftentimes you want to have No Tail on like a space creating hero. I think that sort of suits his play style a little bit more, and because of that, I like this change. No Tail's going to be playing the DP, as you said. We got Moon on the Tusk down here towards the bottom rune. It's going to be Fly on the Vengeful Spirit. Crit is going to be playing that Earth Spirit, and last but not least, Miracle on the Terrorblade.
On the side of Team Spirit, we have Afterlife on the starter. Going to be looking at No Tail for a little bit here. Thinking about contesting the room. He gets a crush down. He does not get the bounty rune though, so he doesn't even have the sprint. And unfortunately going to be Spirit siphoned to Seth, or at least go for another crush going into Rouge. Can he get the deny? Just two. He needs 2 hits though. They're not even. First blood to No Tail.
That's pretty well played, though. I think he knew that he was going to end up getting stunned if he tried to wait around. There's good play.
It's unfortunate. He didn't even get the bounty rune either. So it was both first blood and the bounty going in the way of No Tail. So it's a very happy death profit, honestly. Although it's going to be a bit of a scary lane as you're up against Iceberg. I'll get your introductions, by the way. Iceberg on the OD in the mid lane. Go Black playing our farming Treant Protector in the jungle. And moving in towards the top lane, we've got Always Wanna Fly on the Oracle. And finally, we got Ramses playing on the Juggernaut this time.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how they deal with this farming Treant Protector, because he went Iron Talon first this time, which is obviously a lot better for his farming rate. But Moon is kind of a nice answer on the Tusk to the Oracle also, because even if you end up getting the root down to him as he's moving back around towards the other side here, he can snowball afterwards as long as he has that level 2, and is struggling to receive it right now as trade spawn going. They're not going to be able to clear him out. Can they find the kill? No, he TP's out in time. Well played there by Moon. In mid lane, we're having a little bit more action too, as it looks like Crit might be able to go down. They do get the kill off though onto the OD, so trade again, as EP did end up popping that Soul Second in the early rotation from the Earth Spirit. Such a fun hero.
Very fun. Good thing for the Earth Spirit is he died after Iceberg, so he was able to get the EXP before he dropped to the right click coming out from OD. So it's a big win here for OG to not only kill the OD, but to also make sure that the Earth Spirit got something in return rather than dying first. So for Crit on the Earth Spirit, could be very happy with this. Now, he hasn't decided where to TP as of yet. He is still sitting in the fountain for the moment, so he's probably waiting to find a lane that's going to be a good opening for him to try and go for some sort of jump.
I really like this opening for Team Spirit here, the way that it started, despite the fact that they did end up, obviously, losing the first blood there from the Slaughter. That's just kind of a bit fluky, maybe a couple of things that aren't quite, it's not indicative of a problem within their strategy. I think that their strategy, as far as putting Golblack in the jungle to sort of consistently farm up, is perfectly fine here, and is actually really good, because it means that they're getting that extra bit of income they wouldn't have got otherwise. And now he's got boots, he's got Iron Talon, he's going to keep on roaming around. Level 3, 2 points in that living armor, so he's going to be able to make the rest of the lanes that much better too. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, is this going to be the Blink Dagger that they're both sort of praying for here? I hope so.
Out of Golblack?
Yes, out of Golblack. Because he is farming up right off the bat.
I think that if the game is going okay, then he's going to go for Aghanims. If they're under a lot of pressure, I still think he's going to go for Aghanims, but he should go for Blink.
Cross your fingers. We'll have to see. I guess he just loves Aghanims. Who knows? It could be his item of choice. Yeah. But it's up to Go Black from here on out. We'll see what he gets. In the meantime, though, other lanes, we've got the Tusk who just sort of moved out from that top lane, so it looks like he wasn't too happy there, and he's sitting in the mid lane for now. Here is Soul Siphon onto OD. Iceberg is taking a little bit of damage, but also receiving a little bit of right-click damage as well. The stun, or at least the disable, coming out from the Oracle as well. The Snowball going to be connecting as well. The Soul Siphon doing a lot of damage, and Iceberg going to drop down yet again. Always Want to Fly. Looks like he's going to be dropping as well, but Go Black just comes in with a little bit of a leech seed. He wants to kill off Moon here, but by himself, he can't really do too much. And well, Afterlife did come in, didn't really get too much done, but Oracle got the kill onto the Earth Spirit at least, and overall ends up being a 1-for-1 trade OD for an Earth Spirit.
Yeah, that's too bad that they ended up losing the OD there. I think that there is maybe a chance he ends up getting out of there. Tusk does deny himself to neutrals as well. He doesn't have any points in that Astral Imprisonment yet, and if he did, I think he would have survived. But going for much more of the kind of fighty build, coming online a little bit quickly, and having the ability to sustain those Arcane Orbs with the second point in Essence Aura. And as you mentioned, Afterlife, after going mid to try and help out, is going to have to head back bottom here and soak up as much experience as he can. I still think that it's okay because you rotated a lot for that, but I guess you kind of rotated a lot for both teams. The secondary gank, thinking about going in, but they're going to leave it for the moment.
And down towards bottom lane, looks like Afterlife was being jumped on here by Fly, who did start the initiation by a backwards rotation, and the sprint looks like it's going to be enough to keep Afterlife alive. So a little bit of wasted energy and mana down towards the bottom lane, but honestly for OG, even if they don't kill the Sala, they're probably happy with this. If they can grab a little bit more damage under the T1 and maybe even get it, they'll be pretty happy with that already. But game is looking decent for Spirit. Not as much as we would like it to be, though. I think the saving grace here is that Ramses is 100% free farm on that Juggernaut in the top lane, so he is going to be getting his items very quickly compared to a typical Jug.
I think that's definitely important to keep in mind here, and the fact of the matter is that you're still getting experience on this slaughter. You're just going to have to try and get out of the way of the rolling boulder that might come through. The other thing is you've also got the farming Treant Protector, which, I mean, as weird as that sounds, it's really relevant. He's getting more levels. He's continuing to build towards those big items that we know are going to end up coming. It means that they're not getting as many stacks too, but considering that Juggernaut's 42 and 22, he doesn't really care all that much, and he's actually doesn't have enough mana for Omni Slash. He needs to walk before he ends up getting taken out in the lane by Moon.
Let's go on his Mango, but I don't think you want to Omni Slash the Tusk. He can always Snowball. Unless there's no one around, then you can definitely Omni Slash. There we go. Oh, the Snowball. One more hit. There we go. Chop.
Well played.
Yep.
Yeah, that was really smart. I think that if Tusk goes up there instead of down, he probably thought that Ramses TP'd out, but they ended up being able to get that solo Omni Slash as you were talking about, and they are going to be trading out a tower for it, though Jug, well, he did end up hitting the Blade Tree the first time through to kill off the creeps and pressure the tower, not pressuring it as quickly as these guys are, and they've still got Exorcism up if they wanted to use it.
Oh, they absolutely could take it. It'll be a huge influx of gold going in the way of OG if they grab this T2 this soon. Will they use it, though? They're thinking about it, and here we go. Exorcism has been deployed, and Spirit, what do? Honestly, just sack this tower. There is really no reason for Spirit to contest this. They're not in a position to fight yet.
Although
Unless they want to.
They have the living armor. I think that they're going to be able to keep it around for a little while, and if they can save it by just a little bit of HP, that's going to be pretty huge. Ramses is going to move on in, trying to get some kind of initiation off, and the tower's still starting to drop really low. It is on 6 HP, but still going to be able to stay alive, and now regenning off the back of it. The physical damage is too much, though. They're going to lose the tower, and they're going to lose the team fight. Always want to Fly ends up dropping. Oh, God, and Gold Black is going to go as well. Oh, the half committal. It was not what needed.
That was very, very particular for Team Spirit. What was the idea behind trying to go in there? Everyone on OG was in the bottom lane. Exorcism was popped. They were all in position for a team fight if Team Spirit went for it. Honestly, if Spirit really wanted to, they could have done the beginning of that initiation and just backed up and denied the tower. Like, we saw the tower was in deny range for Team Spirit. They were right next to it. And instead, they lose heroes and the tower in the process. So obviously, it's a big for OG, whereas for Spirit, they brought the Juggernaut that was free farming in the top lane down there, and they got nothing accomplished. Like, it wasted Ramses' time to be down there.
It looked to me like this was a case of maybe a little bit of indecision on somebody's part. Not exactly sure who, but you end up rotating in several heroes. You think that you're going to be able to, like, all right, the idea of, oh, let's try and defend it and see if we can maybe, keep this around long enough to be able to regen it back up with the Treant Protector. But OG had a very clear idea of what they were going to accomplish, was if they come and contest, we are going to kill. We're going to take this tower regardless. And when you go up against sort of a really well executable and easy to execute strategy, and you're sort of half committing to it, it's not going to work. I don't know.
Game is just getting harder and harder. I've said this so many times for Spirit, but they really haven't had that many games where they look convincing right off the bat.
Yeah, I think that they're a very strong team in terms of what they do, but the other problem that's come for them is that they have a very particular style. As you're going to see the stun coming out onto Ramses, which is wanting to group up, push together a team very early on. And I think that teams have somewhat figured out how to deal with that style. And I think the real test is adjusting after teams have figured you out. And that's what sort of takes you from a good to a great team. And I'm curious, as you know, this is a really good test for them. They're still going to go into Shanghai. I want to see how they respond. They're not out of this yet, but certainly it's getting closer and closer to that happening.
Yeah. So we have a two-man Smigger from the Slardar as well as our Juggernaut. Hopefully they can actually make something happen with this. We have amplified damage, and it looks like they're going to go for a Roche attempt here. And it's a Jug and Slardar combo. Like, these two together can definitely do this. Depends if Spirit spots this... Sorry, not Spirit. If OG spots this out. Instead, they're going to go for a quick jump onto Iceberg, and he disintegrated. They're so close to the Roche pit. Moon, he doesn't check it. He's hanging around. Oh,
yeah,
they don't know what's happening. Oh, this is a big win.
Yeah, that's really good. They would love to not just lose Iceberg right there, but the fact that he did end up going down and they're still going to be able to take this is really freaking huge.
It was the bait.
Tier 1 tower going to go down. Exorcism has been popped. I don't know. I feel like OG should realize something is up. I guess that they are showing the Oracle there in lane and probably thinking that somebody is going to come and contest this. But as soon as that doesn't happen, they're going to realize immediately what's going on. I don't know if they actually get here in time to be able to make this fight happen.
I don't think they can.
Looks like they're just going to go for the tier 2 again.
Oh, why not? It's easy T2. But honestly, Spirit's just not in a position to contest it. Although Ramses is coming in, and he was spotted out with the Observer Ward as well, so Moon gonna walk right into him. The spin immediately coming out from Ramses. Now, he was pushed up into the air. He is slowed up though. He has Omni Slash available, but unfortunately, there's two... Oh, he gets an Omni Slash up only onto the Tusk there, but he's gonna keep on going, stunned up by Fly, and it looks like that's gonna be the end of it. So he uses an Omni Slash and only gets the Tusk out of it. That's probably the only thing that the Jug was really expecting.
I think that's okay though. They don't they pop Exorcism for that, which is a longer cooldown than Omni Slash, I believe, at these levels. Is it always? 130, yeah, it's always going to be higher. As we do have the swap back, going to be able to catch on Iceberg yet again. Soul Siphon out, Fly still dropping very low, turn back around, trying to be able to take out No Tail. He's taking a lot of damage. Sandy's Eclipse coming in at the end as well, and now Miracle is in the midst of all of them. Can they kill him off? Brings into the snowball, continuing to right-click, but the one last hit doesn't go through, and the regen is too strong. 2 heroes dead. Double kill for Miracle, who has 70 last hits right now, as well as in terms of the net worth, 6,100. Going to be able to get the secondary catch here. Crypt Swarm out one time onto Go Black, trying to stay alive as long as possible. The second snowball, and he is going to be able to walk away from that one. Oh, God.
This game looks like it's going to end very shortly. It's just push from OG. They just keep on going. Like, Exorcism or not, they're still pushing with the Terrorblade. I look at Miracle's farm. He's looking very, very healthy as a Terrorblade. Like, Power Treads, Aquila, Helmet Dominator, with 1.4k on top of that with the wand as well as PMS. Like, this guy is rocking a lot of gold this game.
Yeah, and he is going to be moving on in here on the top lane to secure this Ramsey as well. I think that you mentioned there the Terrorblade, the amount of farm that he's gotten. This hasn't translated into a ton of damage yet, but it's going to start to very quickly. The Ancients were stacked early on by the Tusk in the off lane, and I think that probably we're going to be continuing to see a lot of aggression coming out from OG, but this doesn't mean that they're sacrificing their late game. They're still just continuing to build advantages. The one side of it that's a little bit sketchy is that Team Spirit do have a lead in terms of experience. They're 2,000 experience up. Maybe they can make something happen with that experience lead. That's what's going to happen if they really want to win this game.
Let's just hope experience is going to be enough, though, because at the rate that this game is going, experience or not, it's just OG steamrolling over Team Spirit. For now, we have OG looking to push this top lane with just the Tusk as well as the Earth Spirit in lane. There's no Death Prophet here. Where is No Tail? He is back in base, so I presume he's just going to sort of run up here. He is pretty quick with his Yule Scepter. In the meantime, though, Spirit going to be coming in with Go Black, and we've also got 2 more smoked up behind him. It's the Starter as well as the Oracle. This is not enough in itself. They do have reinforcements coming in behind them, but they are quite far behind, and Moon is the first one in this pack of heroes. So he is very elusive. So is Crit. Actually, both of these heroes are quite elusive to kill.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for them to find him. They do have the Nature's Guys that's up on always. Actually, the Smoke on up. They're going to be able to find now the roll away. There's just OG playing this so carefully, so effectively. But actually ended up going for a Ghost Scepter too after the Yules. Has Arcane Rune ready to go, and now they're going to reinitiate with the Smoke. Oh god, they're going to go on to Go Back. I think he's going to die here. Everybody's left. Oh no.
Oh god, hold on to your ankle. This is going to be a very dead tree. They have only 1 axe to chop him down. They even go for a swap as well. Well, guaranteed kill. Didn't have to chase that far for it, as Vengeful just swapped it into the middle of their team. T1 going to drop, and Spirit, yeah, they're not going anywhere near that tower.
They have
There's just no
Exorcism
point.
up on the Arcane Rune cooldown too, so it's only 100 seconds when they pop it for this tier 2 tower.
Oh my goodness.
It's everything going right.
Everything going right for OG, everything going wrong for Spirit.
Oracle's going to stand here and see if he can do something, but it doesn't really feel like they have the pieces to make it work at this point. You still have that experience lead, but the items, like the sort of single-mindedness of OG's draft in terms of winning team fights and taking objectives is just very, very clear. I mean, you've got the stuns that are coming out in mass. You've got the snowballing Tusk that's around that's going to be able to make sure that you don't end up getting caught out. Look at the shards here, able to catch on to Ramses. If they would have had one more hero rotating, they might have been able to find that kill. But it's just... I mean, what else can you say?
There's really not that much you can say about this game. We pretty much said everything there is to be said. Although, one thing we have to keep in mind though is that the Slaughterer is getting very close to his Blink Dagger. Although, if he got this much sooner, it would have much higher impact, but considering that he's getting it at this timing, it's still an important item to have. It's just Afterlife's bread and butter item. If they can get pickoffs with a Blink Crush plus Juggernaut, then that might be a small way in for OG, or at least Spirit, to sort of come back into this game, because pickoffs still an ideal situation for Spirit. Because let's be honest, Spirit honestly, oh, can they get the kill on the Moon Meter? That's their roll. Oh, it's onto the creeps as well. Spin gets that kill. Crit's gonna chase after him for a little bit. There is a double damage rune in the river. So Ramses, he sees this, and so does Crit. And the Yule's coming out from No Tail, and we've also got Fly here as well, so that's gonna be the end of Ramses. Rest in pieces. Didn't even get DD.
Yeah, it's too bad. A couple of plays there. He ends up, had he just thrown the shards, he wouldn't have been able to survive that extra little bit of time, because it doesn't give you that vision anymore. But he also summoned the little ice illusion, whatchamacallit, sigil. So pretty good play there, heads up, to be able to know that he had to snowball to one of those other creeps, and for how quickly Omni Slash kills you, definitely very, very heads up play. Fly now moving on in, and they're ready to go. The other point that you mentioned about Slardar being able to find a pickoff possibly with the Blink Dagger and catching somebody out, that's really the ideal and only situation that you can make this work, is they are going to catch onto Crit. He kicks him away, and unfortunately not going to be able to catch him out, as Fly is going to run back in a secondary time through, but now we have Exorcism popped, a secondary swap, gonna be able to keep alive as well by False Promise, but Gold Black needs to get the heck out of here before he ends up going down. He's actually drawing a good amount of aggro though, and that's gonna be an Exorcism pop for not a whole lot.
That's a bit of a win, honestly, if you're Team Spirit, because you know that the Exorcism is going to be down. The map will be a little bit more open to you, and Death Prophet herself won't be that big of a threat. Blink is up on the Slaughter, and they do see Miracle here, so Blink Crush. They've got Go Black here as well. He has no Overgrowth. He only has the Leech Seed. They have Vision of Miracle, though. Can they do anything to finish him off? They've got allies coming in from the backside. OD, Iceberg. He just wants some right clicks in, but look how quick Miracle is. This guy is going to the Olympics. Oh, Jesus.
What the heck is he didn't even have a TP, he just walked away.
No. This guy gold medal. Oh my god.
What is going on? This is silliness. This game is just becoming ridiculous now. They're going to jump on the Moon and then run away from him. I don't even know. They throw out a second boulder, catches onto 2 as well as the silence. They throw out a third silence now. Afterlife is going to end up falling. Doesn't get up in astral imprisonment, but I think he still ends up going down. Spirit Siphon. Meanwhile, over on the other side, they're going to be able to catch 2 with the overgrowth, keeping them out of the fight, at least for the time being. OD might be able to get... No, they lift him up with the Yule Scepter, and he is going to end up falling. Another quick kill there, as it looks like Goldblack is dying on the other side. He is just barely able to get out of there, trying to stay alive. The TP... And I think that he does... Yeah, they weren't able to reveal him, unfortunately.
Yeah, no detection. If only pings could detect your enemies.
He was just outside of the range of that sentry right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Very scary. 2 dead for Spirit, and we have more PC issues. Well, I'm going to be honest here. Even if they just continued on with Miracle disconnected, I'm pretty sure OG would still win this game.
They can just shift right clicks, like shift A left clicks, and they win.
What, just A click to the tower?
Exactly. I think that's the play at this point. Maybe Pop Manta style once or twice, but he does so much damage. The item wise, again, you've got, I mean, Aether Lens is up on Earth Spirit too. So all of these really important things, like this is something that not everybody might know because not everybody plays Earth Spirit. One of the big limiting factors of this hero is geomagnetic grip and how far away you can grip somebody. The Remnant pull speed is 1000, and then the Remnant like distance, I want to say it's somewhere around like the 500 range. So getting it out to that 700 range means that you can grip and then immediately afterwards kick. And then you've got this really cool combo where you wouldn't before be able to get the silence off first. So those types of things matter a lot. And also just being able to put those remnants further away from yourself. It's all really good stuff.
So for now, let's see how long Spirit's going to be able to hold this game out. My expectations, like for Spirit, I don't expect them to win this game, but I'm curious to see how long they can drag the game out. Because for now, the game's just not looking that great. If maybe they can drag it out long enough for the Jug to actually, Ramses to really hit hard. It's got the Manta style too, so this is going to be a split push sort of Juggernaut. It's not going to be the fighting Juggernaut that we sometimes see. He's just going to go for a spin and TP straight back home, as it looked like going to be OG moving in towards jungle. Not really.
Well, see, and this is what I was talking about also with like, we've seen when teams fall behind with Juggernaut, that's what they go to. And most people think, all right, we're safe to be able to do that because he's always just going to be able to, go for the spin TP while simultaneously killing off the creep wave. But the problem with that is that if you have a Tusk in the game, as we actually are going to see him jump on top of Moon Meander here, he gets Walrus punched one time. They do end up getting the crush a second time through. Swap to keep him alive, though. Mechanism's been popped at this point. Ramses is going to end up falling immediately. Look at that exorcism damage. And unfortunately, we have a bit of a pause. His PC goes down, getting DDoSed from down the hall. I think that's what's going on.
No, you must have really left someone in a bad mood.
Iceberg's kicking the Ethernet cord. I think that it's occasionally those types of issues do pop up, but what I was saying is that they can't do the split push stuff because they got Venge Swap as well as Walrus Punch to be able to break it.
There wasn't even a chance for Juggernaut to even pop the Omni Slash either. He just got bursted down from 100 to 0. And also the sad part is that he just picked up his Manta style, so he's got no buyback.
Yeah.
Nowhere near buyback.
I'm not sure if he popped Manta. There's several different silences on the side of OG. Earth Spirit wasn't there to be able to silence. He was there. He might have. But I think it was probably DP that did it. Yeah, she got him with that one and probably popped the Manta, but not quite quick enough off the Manta split to Omni. Yeah, this is kind of sad. Like, you get a little bit of time to think about the fact that you lost this series, and then you're going to lose the series probably.
Yeah. Let's hope this computer issue gets sorted out shortly, because we are really far behind schedule.
Yeah, we are.
How far behind are we?
I'm not exactly sure. I think that several of the games ended up going a little bit long, and obviously then those end up sort of, snowballing because you have to wait for the other teams and stuff. But I'll have to check through the schedule again in between these games.
Drop Bear might be able to tell us. He's been on top of this, so... Oh, here we go. Right. Back into the game.
And, Exorcism, they're just going to walk up to high ground. Yule Scepter somebody, walk away just because they want to be mean. Look at how far away that silence was from. That's ridiculous. Able to get that extra little bit of out of the Aether lens.
There's no Aether lens on Death Prophet.
No, on sorry, on which was
on
or Spirit.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
No
But
problem.
Astral, just gonna keep the OG alive for a little bit longer. He will literally perish. Although the Fate Edict, sorry, the False Promise, I lied. 1 hour behind schedule. Well, that's not good. But
A lot of damage. They catch the crush onto 4. They got the illusions also continuing to hit away there as Fly is going to get regen back up. They've just got so much to sustain. Even though they ended up killing off the Tusk, I don't know if it's going to end up mattering. The other point and that we haven't really even talked about at this stage is that Terrorblade still has Sunder if he wants to use that. So, like, he hasn't had to basically all we've seen Miracle do is just like right click creeps, and he hasn't even really had to be in the fights.
He doesn't. And the sad thing for Spirit is that they spammed so many ultimates to prevent that push in the mid lane. They didn't really get anything out of it. They still lost the T3 tower. They are still going to be expecting a high ground push. Like, it's not going to open up any lanes for Spirit either. We are going to see Roshan attempt number 2. Now, I'm not too sure if this is going to be spotted out as they just killed off the illusion, but I'm presuming OG knows this is happening. Yeah, they're coming through. So there is no exorcism though for 45 seconds, so for No Tail he's going to have to rely completely on Spirit Siphon to do most of the damage, so Crit as well as Miracle is going to be coming in too. We also have Moon sitting on the high ground on the right hand side, but they are going to try and jump onto No Tail. Now she has to go straight into the Ghost Scepter, going to be healing up a little bit, but unfortunately for No Tail, the Sunder Miracle going to keep his teammate alive that little bit longer, but what are you keeping him alive for? It's 20 seconds. The Omni Slash could have bounced between 4 heroes. Unfortunately, Rams is the crush under 4. They get 1, they get 2. They're even going to have the overgrowth too. They get 4 heroes. Spirit, what happened? Oh my goodness.
Shiz.
And they also get Roche on top of this. That is such a huge victory for Spirit. OG. Oh my god.
What a freaking collection of plays right there. As you said, it's what were you keeping that DP alive for? She didn't have Exorcism back up, and all right, Team Spirit, you need to start going. Like, they're gonna come and TP back for the tower here, but they really need to pressure the mid lane. In terms of the swing in net worth, a whole heck of a lot of it. 5,200, as Mr. Corrupt Dropbear says, it was a 10k net worth lead, and now we're sitting. Also, they were at a 4k experience lead. That's going to drop down. The big thing is just the next set of items. Juggernaut right now already has his Manta style. Going to start to build into his next item with the Blade of Alacrity there. Ag's Treant. I don't know if they're going to get that type of fight again, though. This was the same type of thing that we saw in the last game here for Team Spirit, was that they made one really huge comeback because OG got a little bit too far outside of the box, and then afterwards they weren't able to find that same type of miraculous team fight again.
It's just because OG's not going to give it to them. You have to know that you lose one big team fight. If you keep losing multiple fights like that, you're giving away a massive lead to Spirit, who has heroes that can definitely capitalize on the income of gold that you get from it. So obviously OG is going to sort of step up their game and not really make that mistake again. Because think about it, your OG, you're giving Spirit an Aegis. So what? It's just an Aegis. They've shown us a couple of times this game that they can 100-0 the Jug in no time flat, and Jug doesn't really hit that hard either. So honestly, like, it's fine to give him the Aegis if you really don't have the spells to contest in the Roche pit. It's better to give him Aegis than to give him 4 heroes like they did previously.
Absolutely.
So I think OG, like, if it comes to Roche again and they don't have their spells for it, just give it away. You're not losing that much out of this.
Definitely. I think that maybe getting a little bit antsy and wanting to keep get a little bit of a momentum going. Like, I think the fact that the OG have not played a ton of games so far in this patch does factor into this a decent amount. You don't want to necessarily have to be sitting around forever and waiting for another one, as Iceberg is going to get silenced on up again. And I don't know, I'm ever so slightly concerned about OG because, like, you look at that series of events right there, and you do this against a team like Team Spirit, who got in on the qualifiers, have really not been having the best showing in the world. It's not necessarily that they're a bad team, but particularly in this tournament, they haven't played exceptionally well. You have a similar type of giveaway to a team like EG, who you're not going to be that far ahead on, or a team like Vici, who you're not going to be that far ahead on. You can't really make those same types of mistakes. So possibly, I don't think that this is something that's about maybe his PC died. That could have been part of the problem also.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Just kick the Ethernet cable again. Just hope they can't play. Maybe they'll give you a free win.
There you go. That's the way to make it happen.
3-1-1. Nice. We are playing in a mall though, so I don't know how the setups would be. If it's the same as the setups they have in SEA games, then it would be like a huge central part of the mall, and they'll have several stations for PCs.
Yeah, when I studied abroad in Hong Kong, the malls there are like ridiculous. It's like you think about a mall in Australia, I'm not exactly sure. In the US, it's like strip malls in some places, or like these big, 3, 4, however big story malls. Some of the malls in Hong Kong are like the size of other cities. It's ridiculous. Not quite, but the amount of like people that you get in them at any given point in time. One of them, I can't remember the name of it. It's like I don't want to say numbers because it's kind of ridiculous, but it's just like I want to say like 16 blocks long. It's crazy. But China, are different in terms of their shopping styles.
God. We better not talk about shopping though. We're here for Dota.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Some Dota.
We're going to be shopping for a win here on Team Spirit.
Can you shop for a win? Maybe you could just make an agreement with a team and say if you win the tournament and they sort of help you get along, maybe you give them half the prize. No, 25% of the prize pool. It's like, hey, help us get.
I'm pretty sure that that's not a good thing.
Obviously, but just saying.
It's a possibility, certainly. Death Prophet, I'd say. He ends up coming on back to the game. I think that right now, the state of the game is still OG in a pretty firm command of the lead. The Diffusal Blade on the jug that they're building into seems pretty strong, being able to drain mana. What are your thoughts on this item here?
There's no major heroes on OG that I would say is going to be completely crippled by the mana burn from a Diffusal Blade, so like it's fine if Ramses wants to pick it up. It's going to help his illusions do that little bit of extra damage. Obviously, mana drain is still great because it means that if you keep on hitting the supports, like they're going to run out of mana. Like, for example, look at Fly. He's got not even 500 mana, so he's relying mostly on not just his magic one, but also his own mana management. He's been doing a very good job of it. They're going to try and go for a jump, but actually they go for a counter jump onto Fly. Disable was there, but that should be the end of this Vengeful Spirit. They weren't expecting that. It seems as though the Aghanim's are definitely paying off with the overgrowth, and now Moon could be in trouble. They're going to try and come in with the save. It's going to disconnect Afterlife. They blink forward, and all of a sudden there's everyone on the side of OG. There is going to be a snowball, though, and it's just going to be Moon, so he will be chased up by 5 heroes, and should be going down with the crush and a couple of right clicks to the face.
Really well played there.
Yeah, for OG, it feels like they're getting a little complacent this game, not showing all the respect that they need to Team Spirit.
Yeah, and the other thing I thought about it, it's not really the biggest steal in the world because it's not what's been killing them, but Magnetize being purgeable is also really important. And now they have this capability to start pushing down towards the tier 3 tower, possibly, if they take this one rather quickly. Obviously, Glyph's going to be back up, but it does feel like, as you said, they need to try and make some type of play here. They need to try and push. They need to get this farm up on these heroes. Aegis is already up on OD. Do you think they try and make a play?
It's risky. It's high risk, high reward. If they really want to, then they can if they feel confident to do so, but it's just so risky. Honestly, if I was Spirit, I would play safe, because we saw last time what happened when they played risky. So they're probably just better to play on the safe side.
They are getting a couple of these big overgrowth trees down in the middle of these forests, and they actually ping it out immediately as we do have the Tusk go for the Geometry site. So they're going to start to take it on down. He went for the Quelling Blade gem. This is kind of a nice counter still to the Aghanim Scepter tree, and they're going to be able to keep eyes on it. They don't want to break the smoke right now by revealing that they're in the area, instead looking to try and find a pickoff, which is more important right now. But this gem becomes really, really important. I think that they need to take this here for the Spirit.
Look at the positioning of OD. They are so ready for a team fight, and they're also they're anti-clumped up. They are spread out, just to make sure that they won't get 3 to 4 man crushed by their Slardar again. So it seems like OG just sort of stepping up their game and making sure that they won't get caught out by Spirit.
Definitely. Well, and the game becomes now just try and place as many of these trees as you can all around the place. Oh, God, he used overgrowth there. He thought he was going to be able to catch several of them, but doesn't end up working out. And now they don't have this for 60 more seconds. This has been a really key part of their defenses. I'm very concerned about what they're able to do. I don't know if OG realized that got used, though.
Blink on Jug. He's got a blink dagger as well. So now Jug has a form of initiation to blink in and go straight for an Omni Slash. And obviously if you're OG, when you're Omni Slash, you're going to be a little bit disorientated, and that might be enough for Spirit to sort of go in for that major jump. But again, as you said, with no overgrowth, they need that spell to keep heroes in place. They just need it to keep OG under control. And Omni Slash blink in. They're going to try and go for kills here. The Ghost Step are going to keep Crit alive, it seems. And now Ramses has to pop his Mantis down. He needs to get out of there. He's going to be stunned up. He's going to be bursted down. He's got no buyback. They had to buy back on Goblak because he died as well. And unfortunately for Spirit, because they're missing out on the Jug, that's their major damage source outside of Iceberg. And they have overgrowth in 13 seconds, but it's just too late by the time this comes up. Raxes have already been taken the swap as well, and they're going to get another kill onto Iceberg, who's got no buyback as well. Okay, this is pretty much a huge disaster as Afterlife is,
Yeah. That's going to do it. I think that's just about going to do it for Team Spirit. And man, what a freaking way to end up losing that one. I think, again, also the Diffusal Blade, I didn't think about this earlier, obviously taking off that the Ghost Scepter stuff, like, it looked like they wanted to try to itemize it well. I wonder, again, about the choice to go Aghanims over Blink. You think about that last engagement there. If they have the jump in, the Blink, the overgrowth, maybe it ends up looking different, maybe it doesn't. But regardless, we are going to see OG take the series 2-0. Team Spirit now drop with one game won out of their 3 games played so far, the 3 sets, and it's honestly not looking great for their possibilities to move forward. I think depending upon how the rest of this round went, they could even be out right now. We'll have to see how the rest of the games played out.
Yeah, so obviously Spirit gonna have to cross their fingers and hope that everything's gonna go well at the other team.